After all the noise I talked about this keyboard, I ended up keeping it. Bolo! Yeah, so before we get started, make sure you guys go ahead and get my drum kits. All of my drum kits sound really good and they're very cheap, so you might as well pick them up. They're only 10 bucks and they sound really good. You can go ahead and click that link in the description and get the drum kits today. What you waiting for? They're only 10 bucks. And if you want to get some equipment just like this, you can go ahead and click my link to go to zZounds.com, but you have to click my link and you can go ahead and get a ton of items on the site with no credit or background check. Now, it's not going to be stuff like the MODX or like some really expensive stuff, but there is a ton of items that are on the site that you can get with no credit or background check, and they will ship it to you and you can just pay it off in a couple months. So go ahead and click my link right now in the description to go to my zZounds.com page, get you some stuff and just pay it off over time. But click my link in the description right now. So I decided to go ahead and keep it, even though I basically talked shit about it in a previous video. But here it is. I still got it. Go ahead and put this down. This thing is very lightweight too. Now, why did I keep it? Well, the thing sounds very good. Like, it sounds really good. The sounds, like the pianos, the harps, the strings, even the synthesizers in it sound really good. For the life of me, I just could not give it up just because I didn't know how to work it. I felt like I was giving up in a sense, like, dang, this is the third MODX that I've had in my possession, and I was gonna send another one back because I felt like I couldn't use it. I wasn't even challenging myself with the keyboard, and I was just gonna go ahead and send it back, all because I had a lack of knowledge of the keyboard. So I went ahead and put it inside the box, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and ship this thing away. Adios. But then this feeling came over me and it was like, nah, Bolo, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't even know the keyboard like that. You're not even giving it a real chance. So you know what I did? I let it sit in the box for about 2 weeks. But I did something that I've never done in a long time. So let me tell you what I did that really kind of helped me out with using this keyboard. I actually picked up the manual and I actually read it. Yeah. Reading is fundamental. Once I went through this manual and I actually read how to hook this thing up and how to use certain MIDI functions with this keyboard, I couldn't believe what I missed out just by not reading. So I read more and I learned more and more about this keyboard just by reading the manual. I did go to a few other YouTube pages and I did watch some videos on it, but reading the manual actually helped me out. Now, it's still a little complicated, don't get me wrong. Like, Yamaha made this keyboard very complicated for using in a MIDI type of a situation. But I understand why they did it, because this is a player's keyboard. This is a keyboard to be in pretty much a performance mode, to where you can switch through your performances very quick, very swift, very easily, especially if you're somebody that's on the road traveling. But in the studio, of course, it was a little hard to use. Or was it not hard to use? See, the thing about it is, with all of these keyboards, yeah, just because they have MIDI functions and everything doesn't mean that they're all built the same. They all have different workflows. Roland might have a different workflow. Yamaha might have a different workflow. Korg may have a different workflow. And even the MPC Key 61 has a different workflow. You just have to know the workflow of each keyboard. And that's what I did not do. I did not study the workflow of this keyboard. And now that I know the workflow of it, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a little difficult, but it's still a lot better than what it was for me. And I can say this, I can see what Yamaha is doing, especially with the MODXs and even with the montages and all that good stuff. I understand it now. I just learned that it's just a different style. It's a different workflow. That's all it is. And I didn't give the keyboard a chance. And this is the third time I've had one of these keyboards. Well, the third time having a MODX type of a keyboard. This is the MODX6 Plus. So this is really the first one, you know what I'm trying to say. But it's just basically a different workflow from what I would typically do with like my Roland keyboards. And it's probably a different workflow even from using like the Korg keyboards and all that stuff like that. So it's just a different workflow. And now that I understand the workflow a little bit better, I'm actually kind of enjoying it, because it's something new and it's something more that I can learn. And that's what we do as musicians. We're supposed to, learn and get better, right? And of course, there's a few things that I don't like about the keyboard, but that's with every single keyboard. There's going to be things that you're going to like or you don't like. That's just the whole thing that you have to deal with when you're dealing with hardware. You just have to deal with things sometimes and you have to work around it. But the benefits of using hardware is just so much better for me because number one, it limits me and I feel like I'm more creative when I use hardware. And number two, you're not bound to the whole DOS situation with like RAM and CPU issues and latency issues and stuff like that. But with anything in life, you have to deal with the good and bad, but I see a little bit more of the good with this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a very interesting keyboard and I actually like it and it sounds great and I'm gonna be using it a lot more. So I'm keeping the MODX6 Plus and I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna learn it inside and out, just like I'm learning all my other keyboards, and I'm gonna give it its fair chance. And I think this could be something for all of you guys out there who get hardware. Learn the hardware. Give it its fair chance. You might just miss out on something and it could just be as easy as just picking up the manual and reading it. So yeah, the MODX6 Plus is staying with me and I'm actually excited about keeping it. Maybe it's like some new endorphins or something like that, but I'm actually excited. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. And like I always say, peace out.